Hi, this is Chris D. Ray from Crystal Clear Water, and today I'm with our December contest winner, Mr. Dave Anderson from Quality Plumbing. And Dave won the trip for two people to Orlando, Florida. And I guess, the great thing about having these contests is because we get to talk with the actual technician or plumber who won and get a sense for how they did it. And the interesting thing is that most techs don't realize how easy and simple it is to do this, because these units really sell themselves if you just do a couple of simple things we tell you, and it's just a matter of getting the conversation started with the homeowner. And I want you to all know that we're going to be holding our next sales contest in March, and we're going to give away some great prizes, and I hope you all participate. So first off, congratulations, Dave, and thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with me.
Yeah, you bet. Actually, I think it's pretty cool.
Dave, how long have you been with the company for?
I want to say about just shy of 3 years.
Okay. Now, in the month of December, everyone's got Christmas on their mind. Customers aren't necessarily thinking about water filtration systems. It's not on the top of their mind. It's Christmas time, so they're thinking about buying gifts for their kids and everything like that. But you managed to sell 3 combination systems, which is just fantastic. How easy was this for you? Tell me what it was like for you.
Well, it's funny. I never looked at it that way. I suppose you could. The whole Christmas thing. I guess. Well, first of all, I don't think people think about their water. Even when it's not Christmas, right? I mean, as long as your water is running, everything's fine. And so I guess I wasn't really worried about it. It wasn't like there's a National Water Day or anything like that. So I didn't find it really hard. Certainly people aren't going out looking for it, but I just didn't think about it, and I don't think the people I asked thought about it either. So it's not something they'll ever really think about unless you bring it up, I guess.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where you really don't want it to become a problem in your own mind, because then you just you'll be very resistant from talking to the customer. But you told me there was something that did help you out during the month. What was that?
Oh yeah, it was that whole Aaron Brockovich chemical thing, and it was all over the news. And then when I asked people if they saw it, a couple of people said they did see it, so now it's kind of top of their mind. But also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but recently I've seen commercials with the actual Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
And
yep.
So it's kind of, even though the movie happened a long time ago, it's kind of starting to cycle back, if you will.
Yeah, and for those people that don't know, the Aaron Brockovich chemical was the chromium-6 that was detected all across the country. They did there was an independent nonprofit group that came out with test results of 35 major cities, and they found this same chemical that was the subject of the movie starring Julia Roberts. So this made people a lot more open-minded to hearing more about water filtration products.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What I did was I just printed out a copy of the news article and just started showing it to everybody. Kind of like, hey, did you see this in the news? And I handled the article.
But that article didn't really come out though until the end of the month, towards the end of the month, I think.
Right. And I think I'd only sold one up until that point. But then afterwards, like I said, I just made a point to just ask everybody about it and show it to them, and and started working. Well, I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah. Do you think it gave you more confidence?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about confidence. More than anything, I think it made it easier to talk to people, because it was just kind of like, hey, by the way, did you see this kind of thing? And I guess it's just a conversation opener more than anything else.
Yeah, and I find that's a lot what techs struggle with, is just getting the conversation started. They're maybe hesitant to do it because they're worried about getting rejected from the homeowner per se or whatnot. But that makes a lot of sense. And I guess that leads me to a very important question: is, do you think there's anything that you're doing that's special or different about your approach?
I hate to say special or different because really it's just about talking to people, right? I generally try to just kind of get the conversation moving and warm a person up. The questions you would ask anybody, hey, is there any problems I should know about? So what's going on with your water heater? What about your toilets? How's your water? Do you notice any funny smell? I suspect once you, well, let me just say one thing. Before, I used to try to say, hey, does this person look like they might be a water filter kind of person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Qualify them, right? Or
right.
I don't know if they're into it or not. And now I find that if I just have my regular conversation, they'll let me know.
Right.
So it's just a matter of having the conversation. Just introduce it. Hey, have you heard about this? And you know what? People start talking about it, and it's really, they start driving the sale more than anything else.
So you're just asking some questions to get the conversation started.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's about it.
And I guess how do you bring up doing the water test then for people? Because that's, a critical part of making the sale, if you will.
Well, you know what? I for some reason I sense that, you think it's a very difficult thing, and it isn't because, if you ask people about their water, something as simple as like, hey, do you buy bottled water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they're buying bottled water, that tells you that they've got some concern about regular water, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, you would be buying bottled water if you thought you're and for whatever reason, you ask them, hey, why do you buy bottled water? And they start giving you reasons for it, right?
Right.
And if they're kind of quiet and stuff, I ask them, hey, can you taste the chlorine in your water? People start to kind of have a conversation about it. They say, yeah, I did notice something, or I was worried about. So they're giving you the cues,
Right.
And then if you really want to drive it home, you say, hey, do you have any idea of how much chlorine you have in your water? When they say not really, I mean, that's the obvious thing. Hey, you know what? Let me test it for you. No one's ever said, why would you do that? No, I don't test my water.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a matter of just, like you said, getting the conversation started. It leads into it. And then, the great thing is when you do the water test and you can show somebody, hey, look, do you realize that you got, your tap water has got as much or more water, as much or more chlorine than a swimming pool does. It really just, and people see how dark the yellow the water turns when you put the chlorine drops in. It's amazing.
Phenomenal.
And how much time do you think it takes you to do the water test? Because I know sometimes there's a concern, geez, I really don't have the time to do it when I'm there.
Well, gosh, I mean, you just said you drop a couple of drops into a glass of water. It can't be more than 2 or 3 minutes.
And what happens from there?
Well, you already said it. The water turns yellow. They're surprised. It's kind of this weird thing happens. You show them. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Right.
And then you say, hey, you want to take care of this, or that kind of thing. And they're pretty much all over it. I mean, they've just seen something. It's almost like, I don't know. It's like showing somebody a magic trick.
Right.
And their eyes are really big and saucers. They're pretty much ready to do the next step.
And so what's the next thing that you do then at that point?
Well, I just give them a brochure. I kind of, show them the brochure, and I say, hey, let me just kind of take you through this. I mean, it's really simple. I was never trained formally in sales, so really I just kind of follow along with what you gave me.
Okay. So, and now I know the one thing that we talked before our conversation today, we talked about you using the sales DVD. Do you use the DVD?
If there is a place where, like I said, I've trained myself to ask everybody about the water and to kind of get the conversation started and to show them, the article, the brochure. So I do that with everybody. But I got to confess, the brochure, the DVD is one of those things where sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. I mean, it really depends on the situation. If the person's not doing anything, heck, I'll have to watch the DVD while I'm doing the repair.
Okay.
So it just really depends on what the customer is doing already. I mean, if they're kind of busy, I'm not going to try to, force it down their throat. In fact, it's really just, what their vibe that they're giving me.
That's great. That's helpful. I mean, I know a lot of guys, they use it, maybe not on every call, but the key is having the conversation started, and I think that can kind of lead you into whether you use the DVD or not, because I know you told me the other day when we talked briefly, when we set up this interview, that, the DVD was something that you like to use when people were kind of hemming and hawing about, geez, I really don't know, and so forth. So that's important to know.
Right.
What's the thing that customers really like most when you're talking to them about the system, when you're kind of explaining it to them and so forth, and the thing that gets them, I guess, probably most interested, the thing that is like the thing that's really gets them excited about, yeah, you know what, I do want this thing, or this really does sound pretty interesting?
Well, okay. So we just talked about, you know, the water test and kind of going through the brochure and stuff like that, and you know, they're kind of freaked out about their water at this point, and really, they just want the problem solved, and they don't want to mess with this problem ever again, right?
Okay.
So really, it's the whole no maintenance thing, no filters to change. I don't have to fiddle around with that kind of thing. You know, it's like, you know, it's like that guy on TV, you know, set it and forget it.
Yep. Yeah.
Really, it's like, hey, you put this in place and you forget it. You know, it's done. I mean, I think that's it. It's the whole, you know, literally, if you think about it, they got to either sign a check or give you the credit card or whatever, and you fix it for them, and it's not something they ever have to worry about again.
Yeah, I know that's one of the things that people, you know, I know a lot of customers now, they really do want a they want a no salt alternative because they know that maybe they've either had a softener before, which obviously we're comparing two different things, but the thing is they just don't want any maintenance. They don't want to have to change out any filters or this, that, the other thing. I guess, you know, really, why do you think, we kind of started talking about this, but why do you think you've done so well, you know, when other techs just can't seem to get started and get their first sale, get this thing going?
You know, I really wish there were a secret. I think it's just, you know, being consistent and just getting it started, right? Just asking a couple questions. Hey, have you seen this? You know, just asking them questions. I mean, literally, it's not any more complex than that. If you get it started and the person really has a concern, I mean, they're going to sell themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, your material handles in there, and you know, like I said before, I don't have any formal sales training, and I'm not looking to become a salesperson. But, you know, I am going to talk to people. I'm going to ask them, hey, you know, we're talking about this, tell me more about your water. I mean, it's just a natural extension, and just being consistent with, you know, everybody. Hey, let me ask you about this, blah, blah, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where not everyone's going to buy this, and we don't purport that, you know, when we're doing our training that, hey, guys, you know, every customer is going to buy this from you. We don't do that. It's just a matter of just got to talk to the people, and then the people that are interested, you continue the conversation with them. And, you know, the thing about being consistent and just talking to people is, it's kind of funny because it's almost the same thing that our October contest winner said.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think you can't be afraid to talk to customers. I mean, you just got to say something. Wasn't there a movie, you know, say something or say anything? Do you remember that?
Yep. Say anything, yeah.
Say something, you know. I do the same thing. If you want to, you know, if you want to sell this thing, you just got to say something, and it'll sell itself.
Dave, listen, I know you're really busy today. Thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with me this morning, and congratulations again on winning the December contest. And keep up the good work.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.